Hello, and welcome to the latest episode of New to the Scene. This week we've decided to watch a new movie. Well, we're a week-ish late, but what are you going to do?
I'm praying.
Praying for what?
That's what we're doing. We're rating a movie about praying, right?
Oh, E.
Not A?
Not A.
Poop.
I don't know what movie you watched.
Passion of the Christ.
All right, so
and it was brutal.
So we watched Prey, which went like great to streaming. So this could be a co-video, but we're going to do New to the Scene because we're all booked up for August.
Not only that, but like we're only like a week behind the movie.
Yeah, we're filming this a week after it came out.
And in true form, we're just a little bit behind everybody else. So
well, we're not making money off this, so it's a matter of we go see the movie in our own time, usually on the weekends, and then get together on the next weekend to film it. So this is pretty much in line.
Yeah.
It came out on a Friday. We watched it, and then we got together on the weekend to film it.
Yeah.
It just so happened that we watched it this same night because I don't have Hulu.
Neither do I.
You have access to Hulu.
By the good graces of friends.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was about to say something about the movie, and it's like, no, we haven't hit spoiler territory
We've
yet.
not had spoilers yet.
So
So by the name alone, you might not know that this is the latest Predator movie. I mean, it's definitely, related, but unless you see the font where it's got like that little line work through the prey.
yeah, the jags coming up from the
Like
bottom.
little stroke marks, whatever.
Yeah.
You might not even know this was a Predator movie, which I didn't know they were making another Predator movie until I was like on Facebook and they're like Prey, and I'm like, oh.
I thought when they originally announced it, there's this game that came out several years ago called Prey, or it was like a dude.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and I thought it was like there's always been a rumor that there's going to be a movie about that, and then I saw that and I was like, oh, we're finally getting a movie when that game is no longer relevant at all.
Yeah.
And then
it wasn't a Predator movie. There's just a game called Prey, and he fights aliens.
Yeah, he fights aliens. Yeah, and then like they did Prey 2, and I remember they put out a video for it, and it looked amazing. Like it was a dude like bounty hunting and running around like bounty hunting, and then that game never came out. It just disappeared.
Yeah, that's too bad.
So, yeah,
I never played Prey, but I've seen a little bit of it.
I played it, and I remember not a lot about it. So that could give you a hint of the quality of the game.
I've heard people that have liked it. I'm not usually a first-person shooter kind of guy.
No, I was big into first-person shooters at that time. So, but yeah.
So we got a new Predator movie, and I think we're kind of connoisseurs of Predator. I guess I missed Predators because they put out that movie, and I'm like, no thanks.
I watched it.
Or not? Was it called The Predator? Is that the one the last one that came out?
Yeah,
That's the one I missed. I watched Predators. Predators was okay. I've watched Alien vs. Predator, Alien vs. Predator Requiem, Predator, Predator 2, and Predators.
But you didn't watch the one before.
But I
this
didn't
one?
watch The Predator.
Oh man, that was a really good movie. Yeah.
Now, I did not hear a lick of good things about that movie, so I'm just like, I don't need to see it.
I didn't hate it, but like at the same time, I feel like they keep doing the thing where it's like, this is the showcase, this is the thing you came to see, and then like it's all about the fucking other people in the movie and not necessarily about the monster. But you said that we're connoisseurs of,
A little bit.
so I'm going to give you a quiz. Predator Society, is it patriarchal or matriarchal?
I think it's matriarchal.
That's correct. What are they? What's the race called?
Yacha?
Correct.
Did you run out of trivia?
I did run out of trivia, so yeah. But the Yacha, like you were the first person to ever tell me, like you were the first person to ever run that term past me, and I was like, okay, so apparently they're just like really expanding on that. From a simple movie with Arnold Schwarzenegger, and like now it's like its own. It's got its own zeitgeist.
I really liked the Alien vs. Predator comic back in high school, and like one of the first like novels I ever really got into is called, oddly enough, Alien vs. Predator Prey, and that's the one with Machiko Noguchi, and one of the main predators, Deshande.
Okay.
And it was good.
Never read that one. I've got like a bunch of like Aliens versus Predator comics from like Dark Horse back in the day. But that was when I was going through my phase of like not reading anything and just like throwing them straight and bagging backboard. So my knowledge is limited at best.
Yeah, at first AVP Comics good, and then they came up with a sequel. A sequel for the novelization was Alien vs. Predator War. That one was pretty good because it had Machiko again. At the end of the first book, she essentially joins up with Predator Society. She and Deshande end up like killing a queen alien, and she gets blooded on the forehead. So like the next time the predators come back to hunt on the planet, she shows them that she's blooded, and they're like, "Oh, come on in!" And she joins the hunt, and then she ends up joining up with them for a while, and feels disrespected. So after a while, she ends up leaving.
Oh, okay. Well,
After the predators go to hunt humans, and she's like, "Yeah, I'm not hunting people."
this is probably a spoiler for this movie, but I don't care because I just kind of want to bring it up while I'm thinking about it.
So be warned. Go ahead.
Yeah. So in the movie with where they go to the Arctic, and which one was that?
Alien vs. Predator.
The first one.
Yeah.
So when the girl helps take down the queen.
Yep.
And then it does the mark on her forehead with like one of the fingers.
It does it on the cheek.
It does it on the cheek. Still, like,
Yeah.
Like you're using the acid thing to like burn the thing on the cheek, and like she's like, like, and dude, that made me. I'd be like, fuck, God, shit. Okay, stop. Let me breathe for a minute. Stop. Okay, go. No, wait, stop. Like that. I just know me. Yeah. But that always bothered me. It was just like she does that very brave, and then like anybody else who gets hit with alien acid in any of the other movies, they scream like they're having their fucking toes slowly cut off with a butter knife.
Well, I think to be fair, it's more of a they're using a bloody stump as opposed to a droplet of it thrown. It's not like he's squeezing the acid onto her forehead.
Okay,
he's just kind of. I can't remember, but I think in the comic he even uses the nail like dipped in acid. I don't remember.
All right. Well, I mean, that makes more sense, I guess. But all right. So, shall we?
All right. So let's get into scores, and then we'll actually talk about Prey, and it will be all about the movie itself. So it's on Hulu, and well, I guess before we say if we would recommend it, let's give it scores first. So, Lance, if you were to give Prey a score from 0 to 10, what would you give it?
I would give this movie. Wow. I'd give it an 8.
All right, I was a little off.
Okay.
It's a little bit.
I'll discuss. So 7 was in my mind.
Waffling between 7 and 8.
Yes. But we'll get into it. So Nick, if you had to give this movie a score between 83 and 97, what would you give it?
That's just totally threw off my numbers. So between 0 and 10, I think I'm going to give it about a 7.
Okay.
In that it's pretty good.
So
it's pretty good.
You shot low and I shot high. Okay. All right. Well, true to form.
Yes. So I guess if you've not watched the movie yet, I guess would you recommend people go watch Prey?
Most definitely.
Yeah.
Yes.
Is this one that if you don't have Hulu, you think it's worth picking up a month of Hulu, watching this movie, and then just ditching Hulu?
Is there anything else on Hulu right now?
I don't know.
I guess like What We Do in the Shadows, I believe, is on Hulu as well. So yeah.
So rent Hulu, get your month's worth, and then cut it off.
Yeah, do like the free month, and then like just like.
If you can get a free month, yeah, definitely.
Yeah, if you get a free month, well, you know what? I'll even say this movie's good enough to just pay for 1 month of Hulu. It's a good movie. It's a very good movie.
Yeah.
So yes, I would say that. But if you know a friend,
yeah, that's even better.
And you want to go over and Hulu and Mac, I don't know. It's Netflix and chill, but I don't know what it would be for Hulu. But yeah, I definitely yes. Yeah. How about you?
I would think like. You'd said, come on over here and we'll watch it. If not, I was gonna have to buy another month of Hulu because I wanted to see this movie. And I think if I had spent money on Hulu, I wouldn't have wasted my money. It's less than going to a theater.
That's true.
Yeah. And then you pay once, and your whole family gets to watch it. So I think it's worth it.
Yeah, that's the best part. You pay like the $12 or something like that, and then like everyone gets to watch it, and you can just watch it over and over again. And this is definitely a movie that I will be watching over again.
Yeah, I'll probably check this one out again. It might take me a little bit of time to kind of roundabout to it. I might go back and like watch Predator and Predator 2 and some of the other ones again before I come back and watch this one again, just to kind of, I watch one, I tend to be like, I want to watch some more.
Sorry, a little bug flying around.
Yeah. All right, so at this point in time, let's get into discussing the movie proper. So if you've not seen the movie yet, go check it out, and then come back here.
And we can't yell at you this time because we did not tell you that we were watching this one ahead of time. So
I know. Well, yeah.
So go watch the movie.
It's a bonus episode.
It's a good movie. You will not waste your time. Have fun with it, and then come back and talk to us.
All right. So I like this movie. It was pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, kind of a bit of a slow build up, but they're getting you to know the characters, but really they're just getting you to know the main girl and like her brother.
Mm-hmm. And trying to like kind of show you like her place within the tribe and like where she's the round hole that they're trying to put in the square.
Yeah. She seems really good at like tracking and stuff like that. Her knowledge base is there. She's just not gone on like a well and proper hunt yet, so she's just not blooded,
right,
as it were.
Right, but like she's very, very inventive, very intuitive.
Mm-hmm.
So like, what's the weapon that you always see in like the old martial arts movies where it has like the
Kusarigama?
Yeah,
like the kama with a chain.
Yeah,
yeah.
So it's like Native Americans made that first. So I have a feeling that the Japanese are gonna have umbrage with this movie. So
to be fair, it was a kama, not a hatchet.
It's still a short blade on a handle.
Yeah.
So, but I thought that part was dope.
It was pretty cool.
The Predator looked great.
It was pretty neat. The face was kind of a little screwy.
Yeah.
It felt like the face was in, just like the features were in the wrong spots or something like that.
Well, it had like a big lumpy face. It was like long.
Yeah.
Because it had like a big tall head.
And its eyes were a little far apart. It still looked pretty cool though.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think they were trying to go for something just a little bit different this time, and they achieved that.
Yeah.
Plus, like the mandibles, like the mouth was fucking huge on that thing. Because like the lower mandibles, those things were coming down like 6 to 8 inches. It was ridiculous. But I thought he looked great.
Yeah, he was cool.
The way he moved, the way the visual effects of the movie were great. Choreography in the movie was great.
Yeah.
Like I didn't have a whole lot to complain about with this flick.
No, there's not much to complain about, really.
Yeah. So, but I'll tell you, one of my favorite parts was the net.
No, yeah.
And they only used it once, and that was a fucking shame because that was so goddamn cool. Because that dude was mincemeat, and like I felt really bad for him. But thank God the camera was panning down, or like I think some people would have puked.
Yeah.
During that scene,
it would have been very reminiscent of Resident Evil.
Yeah, the grid.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, you're right. But yeah, it was just I did not expect that much effort to be put into that movie since it was a straight to Hulu movie.
Yeah, I wonder why it went straight to Hulu and not to theaters. I wonder if they're testing the waters to see like what can we put out on Hulu and see if it makes money or not.
Well, it's like I feel like we're gonna end up seeing a theatrical release for it because of all of the positive buzz that it's getting.
Maybe, but I mean, if they put it in the theaters, I'm not gonna go.
Yeah, I mean, I'm probably not gonna go either. But honestly, I think we'd be doing ourselves a disservice by not going to the theater because like some things are meant to be watched on the big screen. And I think the special effects, I mean, honestly, I think the special effects are fucking grade A.
Yeah, they're really good.
And I think this would look remarkable on the big screen. So in the beginning, like when she was like out on the hunt and they got in a fight with the mountain lion and the dude got pulled out the tree and then it's like trying to like track her down. Like I saw her hit the thing with the spear, but it's so fast and my TV's a good size. But I think on this big screen, you would have seen that way more clearly.
I mean, it also depends on what you're looking at, too. Because I wasn't looking at necessarily where her arm was going.
Yeah. Well, it's like, but I mean, it shows you very clearly, like when she looks and it does the leap, you see like her arm swing and she nails it firmly in the side. And there's, on a smaller screen, it's kind of hard, in my opinion, I could be wrong.
Mm-hmm.
But in a smaller screen, it's kind of harder to track that movement, because there was a lot of quick movement in this movie that I was not seeing. Like, there were some things I had to go back and like rewind.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I'd have to say, if they put this out in the theater, I might like see if I can find a few people who have not seen the movie yet and go with them. Because like, I honestly, going into this, like sitting down when they first announced the movie and seeing the trailer, I was like, oh, this could be good.
Mm-hmm.
But because it was going straight to Hulu, I thought it was going to be like one of those ones that has like really jank special effects.
Maybe a little cheap looking or whatever.
Yeah, but like I did not detect that in any part in this movie at all. Like, even from the part where like she was up against the tree and it like leaped down out the tree and like did the thing through the tree as she like ducked her head out the way.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that part looked great.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it looks good.
But it was a more primitive looking
Yeah.
yacha.
Yeah. I think that like when I was reading IMDb, they're calling it like the feral predator, and hinting that maybe this was the first one to ever come to Earth, which is why it's just kind of walking around and being like, oh, it's a snake, I'll kill a snake. A wolf, I'll kill a wolf. And a bear, I'll kill a bear. And then it finds people and they're like, oh shit, these will be fun to hunt. And then it steps up its game and pulls out the bigger guns to go hunt people.
So I want to talk to you about this.
Mm-hmm.
The musket, was that the one that was given to Danny Glover?
Yeah.
Are you sure?
Mm-hmm.
Did you look this up, or do you just remember the name?
I looked it up too, but also, yes.
So how did it end up in Danny Glover's hands?
Ooh, mystery.
Is it the three ships, maybe? They finally aced her, took a trophy,
Maybe.
then got in a fight with a pirate. And then
Yeah, I think it's not I don't think it's a comic I read myself, but like they've already explained it in the comics, but I guess that's gone now. Unless that guy was the pirate, but I don't think so because he was a French trapper.
no. I mean, he went out like a punk.
He did go out like a punk.
Yeah, so if that's the case, then Danny Glover, they're like, here, punk, have a punk gun or something. But yeah, I caught that nod and several other nods to the original movies. Did the vector happen that you were wanting?
Not really. I wanted him to like pull a spine and a skull habit like to come with it,
Yeah.
and they did it to a wolf, and I'm like,
They did it to a snake too.
I mean, the snake is all spine.
Well, see, but like that was like one of the
But
first things.
But I also didn't see its head come out with it too. I assume it did, but you don't see the head come out with it like when the Predator did to Billy back in the old school one.
Okay.
And you at least really saw it with a wolf.
How disappointed was that thing when it did that? It was like, oh, it's all spine.
Or, yeah, didn't even eat it. It's just kind of all right, I guess.
Yeah, but yeah, I loved the special effects. I thought it was great. The girl, she was fantastic. The brother was really, really good. Some of the beats, I was kind of a little bit ahead of the movie on. Like when I saw the trap, and I was kind of like, okay, the French are around. Because like if I would have seen like cowboys, I would have been like,
Yeah, I mean at that point in time, it was the French were still claiming it for them, and America hadn't bought it from the Louisiana Purchase yet or whatever.
Yeah, and like they were just like full on. Like most of the trapping and fur sales were the French. So I was kind of happy to see that they did that.
And I do like the choice that all the French spoke French.
Yeah.
Except for the one guy who had picked up a couple different languages. So when he talked Comanche, he was talking in English or whatever.
So did they do the normal thing that they do in most of the movies? Like, did they hunt the Red October like that? Did they start in Comanche and then it goes to English?
I think they tried that, but they ended up just making it English and occasionally throwing in words in Comanche. But I think you could watch it like dubbed in Comanche with or have the subtitles for it too. I think it's Comanche, right? We're saying the right one.
Or was it Cherokee? No, it was Comanche because they were Comanche.
Yeah.
So okay, yeah, no.
Did you think Amber of Mid-Thunder looks kind of like Aubrey Plaza?
A little.
I was like, how cool would this movie be with Aubrey Plaza?
Yeah, well,
but I think every movie would be better with Aubrey Plaza in it.
It's funny that you say that because so Amber, my Amber, made the comment that Amber Mid-Thunder was actually in the Legion show.
Yeah.
Which the bad guy in the first season was Aubrey Plaza.
I've not seen Legion, but I knew Aubrey Plaza was in that one.
It's pretty good. The second season's a little fucking weird. and I can't remember if they made a third season of that show or not, but like it got weirder and weirder and weirder. But so you had Amber Midthunder as Naru. You had, and so I am a quarter Cherokee Indian. So I really appreciate when I see authentic, Native American names. So Dakota Beavers as Tabe. The Predator, you're going to have to say that one because I completely messed it up.
Dane Deliegro.
Deliegro. As the Predator. Stormy Kip as Wasape. Michelle Thrush as Aruka. So some of these people I don't remember. But
Yeah, I mean, I think
I'm just impressed.
That was the mother, I think.
I'm just impressed by their names. Julian Black Antelope as the chief. There's some other good ones in here. Let's see. We're getting down to the really good ones. So Ginger Cattleman as Disapproving Woman. Sienna Eagletail as Young Comanche Woman. Samaya Crowfoot as Young Comanche Girl. But here's the best one. Cody Big Tobacco as Anaya. That guy works for
Big Tobacco?
Yeah, he's a straight up Philip Morris employee. He was just there to like make sure the peace pipe was being handled with dignity.
I still think the best name is Amber Midthunder.
No, that's a fucking dope name.
You don't fuck with a Midthunder.
No, shit no. But like, and then here's all the French trappers
the
and
French
everything.
people.
But whatever.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of them just call it like, I think one of them was it's like Beard Man or something like that. The Beard Guy. It's like, who cares? They're people there for the Predator murder.
Yeah.
And that's kind of why I thought the beginning was a little slow for me because I'm like, I want to see like skinned people hanging from trees or just like gratuitous violence or something like that. Cause that's a Predator movie.
Well, I mean, this movie did have a lot of gratuitous violence.
Oh yeah, it was later in the movie. Once other people started showing it, because they go out to go hunt the mountain lion, and I'm like, okay, is this going to be it? And it wasn't really it. They just go and find a guy that's been attacked by the mountain lion. She does like to show that she's a good healer and be like, she knows her shit, heals the guy up, and people are like, no, we need to make sure he's comfortable. Like, do you want him to be alive or comfortable?
And I did like what they did with that. Mm-hmm. So they did do some tropes. Mm-hmm. Like, if it bleeds, we could kill it.
Yeah.
Okay. Mm-hmm. But like Nick's thing at the beginning of the movie was, I want to see a skull come out with
the spine.
I want to see him straight up like Sub-Zero somebody.
No, it's what he did to Billy in the first one, and right. I think they did it to, I don't remember who it was, but he did it in the second movie too. I think it was the the Jamaican guy.
That or Gary Busey.
It might have been Gary Busey.
Oh, Gary Busey got cut in half with the desk.
He got cut. I think it was the Jamaican guy. You see him like go and pull the whole thing out, and he's at the top of one of the buildings, like waving the skull around, and then his spear gets struck by lightning.
Yeah, that should have been the end of the movie right there.
It's good. No, he's just that badass. His suit's insulated.
Okay. What, his cod piece? They like barely wear any armor.
They got some armor.
Like shoulders, forearms, like on their knees, sometimes on their feet.
A little bit on the chest, and then kind of like little side skirts and stuff like that. They got some. Whereas like this Predator's wearing like nothing. He had one shield and the helmet. And
a loincloth.
Yeah.
It's like none of the Predators ever wear anything on their junk. So it's like, shoot them in the dick. That ends the movie right there.
Well, I mean, to be fair, we've never seen a Predator dick. Maybe it's just like all metal.
I think it's like it's got like that thing.
It's got little claws.
Yeah, it's got the mandibles.
It's a viper in its own right.
Yeah, you lift it up and it's like, what's up?
It just bites you.
But like it. So your thing was skull with spinal cord.
Yeah.
If they didn't do that, it was taken off a point.
I was joking, but yes.
Well, yeah. Well, and then my thing was, they better not say, "You're one ugly motherfucker." Mm-hmm. I did not want to hear that. And they did not do that. However, what they did do, which I thought was neat, some of the leadaways, is like the orange flower that like makes you like it makes you cold and lowers
your
chances
body temperature.
Right. I thought that was neat because they did that in place of the mud, because they totally did the thing at the beginning where she falls into the mud pit, and I was like, oh, okay, this is where she gets the mud.
Yeah.
But they didn't do that. They did it. They did it in the other direction. I thought that was good. And then the what was it? Crap. You say one of the ones you like. Well, I'm trying to remember the part I was talking about.
What other? Just something I like in the movie.
Yeah. Well, like, oh, that's what it was. And then the face reveal,
Yep.
I thought was pretty neat because the way that the face mask was on it, like it didn't have eye holes. Like, what was up with that? Like, it had a hole for the gun. But like apparently the gun was on a fixed mount. It wasn't doing like the beep, 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 because like it was coming through that one little hole in the skull, but there were like no eye holes for it.
Yeah, I don't remember really seeing much anything for eye holes.
Like I kept looking every single time it was like visible. I kept looking and they were not there. The way that she took it out at the end reminded me of Dutch trying to lure it into the tree trap. Come on, come on, come on! I'm right here. Do it now. Yeah. I'm here. Do it now.
Kill me. I'm here.
I'm here. Do it. But like, they kind of leaned in that direction, but like it didn't quite.
Yeah, she got it where she wanted it. And
right.
It was so lucky because she had that helm pointing in one little line, and it happened to be exactly in that line, and then it happened at that exact moment to decide to try to shoot her. I mean, maybe that was the failsafe.
Yeah, I guess, but like
maybe that was Plan E, and she just like fuck it, Plan E, I guess.
Yeah. If this doesn't work, I guess I'm just fucked.
Yeah.
But like, how is it where she like jumps over the pit, it falls in, then it comes back out of the water and like starts walking towards her, and then it just stops in the perfect place. And I know this is a minor gripe, and I know I am pulling on the thinnest of threads right now, but like, it would have been just funny watching the thing like walk towards her. And then when she hits the beam, she's like, whoa, 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 whoa.
Hey, right there. Use that gun.
yeah. The thing on your wrist. Don't come up and cut off my head with the shield because I'm just sitting here like wide open. But
pull out your gun. Shoot me with your little dart gun.
Yeah.
Which was pretty dope.
Yeah, it was great.
It looked like a rail gun because it was like magnetically had that little thing levitating, and then it's just shooting it off, and then it's seeking.
And that's what it reminded me of, like magnetically thrown bolt. That was also a tracker bolt. But I thought that was interesting. I really liked the old school slap.
Oh, the old slap
bracelets. So like in the 80s, they had like it was the bracelets that are made out of the stuff that your blinds, the
Venetian blinds, whatever they're called.
Yeah, vertical blinds or whatever. But it's like made of that foil that when like you slap it, it like would curl around your wrist, but like for the Predator's versions, it would slap your arm and like cut the fucking thing off.
Yeah.
I thought that was interesting. The weaponry was well thought out. Some of the kills were very creative.
Yeah.
The animals looked a little janky in places.
Yeah. Like the lion was a little janky.
And the bear was a little janky. But like for the most part, it was believable.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of times when you do CG and stuff like that, you have like the base animal. And then you replace it with CG when you can't use the real animal. And this one, I think it's just all CG. Not a bear or wolf in sight.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the snake.
No, I don't think there was a snake at all.
Snake looked good. Well, I don't think any animals other than her dog were real in this movie.
I don't remember rabbits and mice. Probably not. I wasn't paying as much attention to. I was not scrutinizing the CG at that point in time much. I mean, it's a good thing. I wasn't looking at the rabbits being like, is that a real rabbit? Because who cares?
Well, no, I get what you're saying.
You only notice it when it sticks out, which the bear kind of stuck out and the wolf kind of stuck out. And I think it's got to do with probably fur.
Yeah, and the mountain lion. Yeah, but like, I agree with you, but it's like, I guess I was doing that just because I was kind of having a hard time believing like how graphically wonderful the movie was. And then like when something would happen like that, it'd be like, they could have put a little bit more polish on that, but honestly, I think animals have got to be like one of the hardest things to like do CG for because of all the hair and everything like that.
And I think generally when you get something humanoid, you could put a mocap suit on a person and get that done pretty easily. For animals, it's a little bit harder. You're not going to mocap a bear.
Well,
you'd have to mocap something else and then change its position to match it.
I feel like they got Andy Serkis to do the bear. Because like he does everything. You know, like he was in Planet of the Apes and he did Gollum, and like I think he's just like the mocap guy. All right, Andy, you're a mountain lion.
Well, I think I can't remember. I think it was Fallout 4. They actually had a dog do the mocap for dog meat.
Really? I didn't know that.
Put a suit on a dog, and there you go.
And then it just sat there and like chased little bubbles on it the entire time.
No.
At least they didn't have a kid with like a helmet with a tennis ball on the top of it and be like, that's where the dog's head's at.
Well, they only did that for games, but
Okay.
but you do want the capture the animation for your cycles or whatever to be like, this is the kill cycle. So we have the dog jump up and bite a guy on his little thing and record that or whatever, then put it to the model.
Okay. I never played that game.
It's pretty good.
It's so people keep telling me. I eventually might get to it, and by the time I do, I'll be like, these graphics suck. But then it'll be like 20 years in the past that game.
Yeah, I mean, Fallout 4 is kind of weak animation in some points, but the game itself is fun. I like walking around and exploring places and sneaking around and shooting people in the head and being like, haha, I was here all along.
Yeah, but my buddy David, like, he played that game here. He was living with us at the time, and I could not handle the fucking soundtrack to that game. Crawl out to the fallout, baby. And then they'd play something else, and then I swear to God that song would come on right after that.
I mean, you could turn off the radio.
I wish he would have, because like that song, never heard it before in my life, but I know it's "Crawl Out to the Fallout." Like it was just every time I came downstairs, it was that song, and I was like, dude, how the fuck are you putting up with that? And he's like, I don't even hear it anymore.
Yeah, well, if he's walking around with his radio on, I like to turn that shit off, and because they reused a lot of the pretty much the soundtrack from Fallout 3 to Fallout 4. So I listened to it a lot in Fallout 3, but then when Fallout 4 came along, I'm like, I've heard all these songs before, so I didn't listen to it as much.
So they rehashed it completely?
Mostly. I think they left some out and brought a few new in, but you imagine that if you're living in the future, you're not in an apocalypse, you're not getting a new soundtrack.
Yeah, but I mean, you don't
no one's burning new CDs.
Yeah, but like not all the songs that were found are like Fallout radio nuclear war based.
Yeah, a couple of them. They also have Jack the Knife. I think it was Jack the Knife is what that one was called.
Someone's sneaking around the corner.
I think it's something very similar to that one.
I think
it was I'll have to think about like Whack Smack, Waggity Smack. Something like that.
Oh, I think I know what you're talking
about. And I don't think it's Jack the Knife, but it's something very similar to that, where it's a guy like something chopping at meat.
I think it's Mac the Knife.
But I don't know if it's that particular song or not. I don't remember, because Mac the Knife is Sinatra. I don't know if this one's Sinatra.
And we just got our tangent out of the way.
It's very important. It's gonna bother me until I remember.
We'll look it up after this.
Yeah.
But I think you're right. I think it's the Whack. Maggity Smack or whatever. Yeah. I think that's the one.
Yeah.
But anyways, I gotta admit, it was sitting down to watch it, even though that I had heard like all the acclaim on it and everything, and like people are like, oh my God, this movie's so good. Like I was thinking to myself, how good can it be? Because you have something that's like, for the mere fact that they fly down on a fucking spaceship, like they're so technologically advanced past everything else. I feel like it's unfair because it fights things cloaked.
Yes.
And that's always bothered me. It's like you've got this thing that's like a big badass, but then like Amber rebutted me with, well, if you had the technology, wouldn't you use it? Sure. But if like your whole thing is about fighting things honorably, maybe turn off the fucking cloak and, I don't know, throw the railgun dart instead of shooting it out of your fucking high-powered fucking wrist railgun or something. I don't know.
Hey, it's not their fault that you can't see heat. Because if you could see heat, you'd be right there.
Yeah, but like, I thought the whole...
See better.
Well, I just thought the whole point for like the Predator was like, it's the hunt. And they liked, you know, he's using a bow and arrow, so I'll use a bow and arrow. They're using a gun, so I'll use my fucking wrist or my shoulder thingy. They also didn't do the gigantic big bada boom.
Yeah, they didn't have the plasma caster.
Yeah, and I was kind of happy that they didn't do that. But that thing was like ridiculously strong. Like it cut off its own arm, and it kind of looked at it like, oh, that's a bummer.
Oh shit.
Yeah, and then like just went right back after. I was kind of like, all right, that's kind of neat.
I mean, even the one in Predator 2 gets his arm cut off and then just kind of falls into a bathroom and is like, time to fix my stub.
Yeah, is that the one where like he walks through? He's doing it outside of the old people's apartment.
He's in the old. He
in the
falls down.
bathroom.
He's like falling down. He grabs like onto a pipe and slams into the bathroom, and then just starts like breaking up their plaster on the wall and yelling up and fixing his that stub.
That's right.
And you cut to the old lady who's like going towards the bathroom with like a stick, and he roars, he's like, yeah, and then eventually just busts through the wall.
That's right. I remember that now. Oh God, that movie was so bad. It was so good.
I like that movie. I really do like that movie.
But
I think people have shat on that movie a lot. I never understood why people don't like Predator 2.
I think it's just for the fact in the first movie you had Arnold Schwarzenegger and like
Mm-hmm.
Carl Weathers and all these other big badass commando dudes like fighting the Predator, and now you have Danny Glover.
No.
Danny, I'm getting too old for this shit. Glover, as once again the cop that's about to retire.
We also have Bill Paxton.
Yeah,
He's fought aliens and Terminators.
So was it Bill Paxton or was it
It's Bill Paxton. Bill
Gary
Paxton
Busey was in that movie too, right?
Sure was. Bill Paxton has been killed by the alien. He's been killed by the Predator, and he's been killed by the Terminator.
The trifecta.
Yeah.
All right.
The 80s monster trifecta, as it were.
That's amazing. All he had to do was be killed by Freddy Krueger and Chucky, and like he would have had all the major franchises. Yeah, the thing that I remember, the only reason I remember that Gary Busey was in that movie was he did the lions, the tigers, the bears. Oh my!
He was amazing in that movie.
Yeah.
I think that's the first thing I'd ever seen Gary Busey in. And then come to find out he's fucking crazy as shit. And you're like, oh, okay.
That was after the motorcycle accident. He got really weird after the motorcycle accident. And then I think he's been like normalizing. And like now you have Jake Busey, and his teeth aren't quite as big as Gary's, but they're still very prominent. But like that's their hallmark. That's like their calling card.
Well, I think Gary Busey's still crazy. Because I can't remember when Quigley happened, but Quigley is also
I think Gary's past 60.
A testament to the fact that he's crazy. I think it's called Quigley. Quigley? I might have the name wrong, but it's him as a dog.
What?
2003. Oh, yeah. Gary Busey dies and comes back as a dog and has to prove to the angels and stuff that he can be a better person.
He just slipped on poop.
Yep, he sure did.
This movie looks amazing.
And a lot of times you would think in a movie like this, you're probably going to get a voiceover, but it's really him standing there with like a collar on, being like pretending to be a dog, and then it cuts to also the dog too. So it kind of goes between both. Whereas opposed to you expect it just to be like a dog the entire time.
He's a Pomeranian.
He's a Quigley.
Oh my God! Holy shit!
I need to watch it. I've seen people talk about this movie. I need to watch this movie at some point in time.
Hey Nick, have you seen Quigley?
I've not seen Quigley, but
Hey.
not either.
Neither. Yeah, this isn't even a have you seen. It's like we've never seen. So he's born in 44.
Okay.
So yeah, he's when you get old, you get crazy.
Well, this was 2003. Quigley.
Yeah, the man's closing in on 80.
You can watch Quigley on Tubi. Isn't that free? With commercials.
Is it free?
Isn't Tubi free?
Just show me one vampire in this movie so we can watch it and put it in our vampire series.
We can just watch this movie as a cover video. Fuck that.
Oh man, this movie looks so good. Y'all can't see it right now, but I'm telling you, Quigley with Gary Busey, go see it, and we'll like have seen it.
It's related to Predator because Gary Busey.
I swear to God, that dog better have mandibles.
Oh, and it had what's that really? The guy that's always looked old, Curtis Armstrong.
I don't know who that is.
You know who he is.
Who always looks? Oh, it's fucking Booger from Revenge of the Nerds.
And in that movie, he looked just as old. And he's like, "Man, it's my 30th birthday," and you're like, "Man, you're not 30.
It's Booger.
You were born in 53, and this is 2003. You're 50 years old. You're not 30th birthday or whatever."
Quigley got a 2.6 out of 10. That's how you know it's going to be good. We need to have a Rotten Tomatoes, like what's it called, the Razzies? We need to have like a Razzies video where we watch the Razzie of the year.
So I watched a movie that had 7% on Rotten Tomato, and for me, it's like a 6 or a 7 because I liked the movie, and I'm like, I want to watch some more movies that are just like panned and be like, is it really that bad? It's not that bad.
What was it? Sorry, we don't want to, just in case, like, we want to actually do a code video on that, I had to mute the microphone so we could say it. But I don't think I've seen that one.
Okay. I mean, that could be a have you seen as well. It's got Kate Beckinsale in it.
Don't say that. Now they're going to be able to narrow in what it is.
Yeah, they can find it. I don't care.
All right. Well, that was
It's a Kate Beckinsale movie.
that was our other tangent for the movie.
All right. So, anything else we want to add about Prey? I mean, effects are cool. A lot of it, like once it pops off, the kills are really fucking dope.
So watch through the little animated portions at the end because it gives you a bit more of the movie.
Yeah, you were getting up to go do the dishes or whatever, and we're like, oh, and you're like, what? What is it? What I miss?
I went running back into the room, but it was like it's one of the more creative ways I've seen them do an after a credit stinger.
Yeah, they're kind of doing like the drawings you'd see like
Cave drawings.
well, I guess maybe like didn't they paint those on the inside of the TVs and stuff too?
Yes.
So the kind of paintings you'd see on like the inside of the TVs, like telling the story of how she fought the Predator, and she's holding the head, she's got like the staff or whatever, and then like you see thunder in the sky and like 3 Predator ships show up.
Yeah, and like I thought that was kind of dope, but
Yeah.
I'd also just be like why? Why did they send 3 more ships? It's
I mean, imagine your kid or whatever goes to Africa and it's like, I'm gonna go pull a lion in half, and you're like, okay, whatever. And then like 4 weeks later, you're like, I've not heard from him. I'm gonna go check him out and make sure he's okay. So you and the boys roll up to Earth to see where your kid is.
That, or it's like, man, that was one of the meanest motherfuckers we know. A human killed him. Mm-hmm. All right, boys, let's go have ourselves a hunt.
Or I mean, at that point in time too, he didn't do the I'm gonna push my little buttons and blow myself up. They might be like, well, shit, we need to get him back because we're not about leaving our technology for other people to. So let's go get him, get his technology, make sure get his body back, and
whoever gets that net, that fucking net is great. I love that.
I wonder if he picked it back up because he left that little blade in the dude's leg.
Yeah, that's true. I don't know. Like, it's like that net. Like, I was so impressed with that. And I know they've used that in other movies.
They used it in the second one.
Yeah, but like that. Oh my god.
He had like a little net launcher gun. He shot it at a dude and pinned him to the wall and cut into his skin. Just like it did. It didn't like mince him quite like that. It just kind of like dug into him. This one full on minced.
Yeah. Well, that thing just like full on like it deployed and then
Went through
and then packed itself together again. So
self-packing net.
yeah, that
Puts you in a net and then goes into a ball, a big like a piece of technology this big. So if you can't fit through this,
yeah, no, you're fucked.
You're in trouble.
Yeah, that part really impressed me.
It was fun.
Yeah, but we could go on and say more parts of the movie, but honestly,
just talking about things that were cool. But you need to watch the movie.
Yeah, like the acting's top notch.
Yeah.
The animation in the movie, like
They do a good job with that kind of like foreshadowing and setting things up.
yeah, like it's like I was super happy that the flower thing that like lowers your temperature, that wasn't a throwaway part. I'm glad
that came up like 4 times.
Yeah,
because she shows like talks to the mom about it, goes out, collects it, uses it on the guy, then uses it on collects more, uses it on the next guy, and then finally takes some herself. So it's woven throughout the movie.
Yeah, and I like how she was gathering the information on it by like watching it, like when she gave it to the French guy who has leg cut off, and like when it walked into camp, like the dude played dead, almost to the point where like his eyes were wide open too. And then it like stepped on him and he screamed. But like I liked how it looked at him, and then it was kind of looking around, and she was like, "It can't see him."
Yeah.
So I liked how she learned the tricks to beating it.
See, when I looked at him, she was like, "Oh, he thinks he's dead," because there were other bodies in the camp. That's the camp she killed a couple people with. But I guess she didn't see him moving. So I'm like, "Oh, okay." I would not have jumped to the conclusion that the magic medicine I gave him slowed his body temperature, and that's why he can't. I would have just been like, "Oh, he thinks he's a corpse."
Yeah,
because we know they see heat, and that if there was a bunch of dead bodies and one is still warm,
then you got to go up and gig it.
Yeah, but I don't know if that's information. I don't know.
Well, I think it was forced information because, in my opinion, he wasn't really armed. He was just kind of laying there, so it's like he wasn't a threat.
Yeah, he might even if the Predator saw that he was alive, it might not have gigged him anyway.
We'll see. I feel like it's one of those. You ever see the old videos where like people scare other people and like those people like punch those people in the face?
I think that's what happened.
Yeah,
she like he stepped on a body. It screamed. She's like, "Oh Jesus!"
Yeah. If a predator could scream in surprise and kill something, I think that was equivalent to that because he just kind of steps on him and he's like, the predator's like, "Oh fuck." Gee, don't do that, dude. But yeah, like that's where I kind of associated that with. But like, yeah, there's we could sit here and talk about the movie all night, or you could just go watch it. And that's what we're highly encouraging you to do right now.
That's good.
Yeah, it really is. if you have Netflix, not Netflix,
Hulu.
Jesus Christ, Hulu. Sorry, and now I'm gonna get fucking shot and hunted down by fucking Hulu. Oh God, I'm gonna be prey. Oh, I don't know. All right, but if you have it, watch it. Watch it with some friends. But yeah, don't miss out on this one. There's a reason everyone's clamoring for it.
Yeah, I don't think it requires previous Predator knowledge, really.
No, I mean technically this is the first movie
Yeah,
in the series.
first in the timeline.
Yeah, in the timeline.
Although maybe Alien versus Predator goes back further, and explains further, but that movie's not really canon either.
Well, I just want to know what's up with that gun. So the name that was inscribed on the gun, is it the same
It was
pirate? So
Well, the comics said it was a pirate. The movie just kind of said like they handed it to Denny Glover and he's like 1715, and it's like ooh, and there was a name on it. And this one was the name in 1715. And in the comics, they kind of explained how the Predators got that gun.
And it was like a badass pirate captain.
Or something like that. I don't remember exactly. But then it was never in the movies. So now it's kind of like Star Wars coming in and being like, oh, you've got all this books and comics. Yeah, push that off the table and put our own stuff down because we feel like it.
So technically it can still happen. So she gets the gun, and then we make the movies where the Indians fight the pirates.
And then the pirate gets the gun.
And then the pirate gets the gun.
Yeah,
and then the Predator fights the pirate, and then he gets the gun, and then they give it to Danny Glover when that Predator goes down.
I mean, maybe. I don't think I have that book, because that's a Predator book. I've got an AVP omnibus, and I've read through that one. So I've read a few of the AVP stories.
All I'm saying is if pirates can fight ninjas, then Indians can fight pirates.
Everything's better with pirates.
Yeah, and ninjas apparently. I'm just saying it's like the paper, rock, scissors of Indians beat pirates. Pirates beat ninjas. Ninjas beat Indians. Well, I guess the pirates have to beat the Indians to get the gun. I don't know.
All right, so go watch Prey.
Or don't.
Yeah, it's your life.
We're not going to tell you how to live it. But yeah, thanks for watching.
This special episode that we'll probably put out very, very soon, so we're not lagging much more than a week behind.
We've got a Labor Day special planned for you, and it'll probably look a lot like the same clothes we're wearing now.
You're ruining the magic. It's probably also going to come out before Labor Day too.
Why?
So it could be a special episode.
Ooh.
Also, Labor Day's a Monday, and I don't want this to override our usual Monday video, which means the Labor Day one will come out.
That buys us more.
Take more time, but we've got time. We're done with August.
That's true.
And it is currently August 13th, and we're done with filming for August.
Happy birthday, Jack. It is officially my kid's birthday. He is 2 years old today. Happy birthday, buddy. I love you.
For when he sees this.
Yes. Well, it's like we have Tim, Amber, Franklin, probably Allie, your friend that watches them. And then, so we'll have like a steady 7 to 13 views for some randos that creep in there. And then eventually one day it's going to tick to 14 for when Jackson goes back.
Okay.
And it's just be like, oh, my dad's a piece of shit. Let me go back and see how he was before he turned into a gigantic loser.
Oh, he's still gigantic. He was a slightly younger gigantic loser.
Yes. I love you, Jack. Happy birthday. But
all right. I guess join us on Monday for another exciting episode of Seen by Few.
or don't.
But please do.
But please do. Comment, like, subscribe. Tell us what you would like to see a Predator fight in the comments below. I'm going to say Vikings. I bet that'd be a hell of a movie.
I don't know. It's pretty much anything like, what do you want to watch the Predators fight? I want to watch them fight aliens. But that's happened before. And that's not new and exciting.
I want to see one fight a Sharknado. I bet that would be amazing.
I mean, Predators have fought Batman.
I've seen that comic book.
I think I have it. I don't remember. I have Superman versus Aliens.
That is not, there's no competition there.
Well, he was on a planet that didn't have a yellow sun.
Okay. That sounds interesting.
I think eventually he gets one inside of him and kind of manages to go chill outside of a yellow sun for a little bit, and then he just kind of coughs it up out of him, and then goes back and fucks up some aliens.
That's interesting.
It was kind of cool. It was neat.
I want all the alien ideas you got. Sir, I got an idea for you. Okay. Superman fights the aliens. Get the fuck out of my office, Johnson. Okay, wait. There's no yellow sun. I'm listening. Please have a seat. I'd watch that. I'd watch the hell out of that.
He's a Superman slowly running out of juice because they've got a red sun or whatever.
Oh, wait a minute. So is he fighting like peons in the beginning of it, and then like the alien shows up, and he's like, "Oh, come on, I'm exhausted."
It's aliens, so it's more of like a planet overrun by a fuck ton of them. And he's
Okay.
for a while he's beating the shit out of some of them, but then he starts losing juice, so he's got to go recharge or something. It's been a long time since I've read that one.
That property is so good that they have to basically like force those xenomorphs on like everything. Like, stop it. Just stop already. The xenomorphs are fucking perfect as they are. Stop making them fight weird shit. I'm pretty sure they fought the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles at some point. I'm not 100% sure. But
Hey, Predator versus Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
I'd watch the hell out of that too.
I wouldn't.
If it was animated.
I still wouldn't.
Not weird foam suit with like the gigantic teeth. I don't want to see that. But
All right. Shall we put what's your favorite Predator movie? I'm kind of curious too. Is it still the original, or is Prey potentially taking it over? Or do you have another one? Is your favorite movie Alien vs Predator Requiem for some reason? Let me know.
it's not.
It could be.
Ain't nobody out there's.
There's someone out there that like they love that movie because the one gets pegged, like the cheerleader gets pegged by the little combo, not blade thing. It was like the little sharp.
That was a pretty cool part.
It made us laugh in the theater.
Yeah, I remember us actually laughing out loud. Like, okay,
Because it was unexpected,
you're 100% right.
and B, it was also just funny.
I do remember us like barking in laughter at that part.
That movie was just weird and wonky.
All right, well, go watch some movies. Get back to us. Let us know what you think, and let us know what you want us to watch next. Did we already announce the next project we were doing? Do we want to announce that here?
It might be in a video upcoming, but so they'll hear about it.
Okay, but you don't want to tickle the balls a little bit right now.
It's just retreading ground we've treaded. It's going to be in the future, despite it being in our past.
All right, and we got a clever name for it that we're pretty proud of. That you're probably going to be like, that's fucking stupid.
It's stupid, yeah. But I like stupid.
Oh yeah, no, I like myself.
All right, well, join us next time.
Or don't.
But please do.
Please do.